Hello, everyone. This is In the Flow with Ricardo. Today I'm here at Coppin State's female bowling competition over here at Woodlawn Bowling Lanes, where this is introduced us to. This is the In the Flow with Ricardo, and here's his mom and dad. And your names are?
I am Trish Davis, the mom of Victoria Davis.
Because you speak a little bit louder because we got the bowling balls behind us.
My name is Trish Davis. I'm the mom of Victoria Davis. She's a sophomore on the women's bowling team.
Okay, and Dad?
And I am Dad. I'm Lou Davis, also father of Victoria Davis on the Coppin State women's bowling team.
Okay, and introduce us to the event of today. This is like a regional competition.
This is an invitational. So Coppin State Women's Bowling hosts this.
Okay.
And all the teams that are here are invited to be here.
Right.
So there are teams from all over. It's not just teams in the MEAC conference. It's teams outside and inside the MEAC conference.
Okay. Now, how long has your daughter been a bowler?
She probably started bowling when she was about 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
At our junior league program back home in New Milford, Connecticut. And she's bowled all the way through high school, junior gold, and now she's actually bowling in the collegiate level.
Okay.
In her second year.
Right. Now, is she a lefty or a righty?
She's a righty.
She's a righty. Now, Coach Middleton had mentioned to me that sometimes they may have 7 or 8 balls. I mean, I bowled when I was like 3rd grade. I only had but one. So, how many balls does your daughter use?
Presently, she has about 9, maybe 10 different bowling balls.
Okay.
I am also a bowler at a high level. I have 12 different bowling balls.
Ah.
Now, you probably wonder why we need so many bowling balls.
For sure.
Every bowling ball has different characteristics
True.
that affect the way it rolls down the lane. Some balls are more aggressive, which means they're going to hook more.
Correct.
Some balls are less aggressive, which means they're going to hook less.
Meaning like the rubber balls kind of grab more and the plastic balls kind of slide more?
Well, rubber and plastic are no longer part of the equation.
Ooh.
The equipment has actually evolved.
Okay.
Now we're using reactive resin for our high rev and our hooking balls.
Right.
Urethane for the less hooking balls. And yes, we still use plastic, but mostly for spare shooting so we can throw straight at the pin.
It's
Right.
very scientific.
It's going scientific. Now, with the Coppin female bowling team, are they seasonal? Do they just bowl for one semester, or do they? How long do they actually bowl for the school?
The season will start for them. They officially start like workouts in September.
Okay.
And then it continues through potentially April if they make it into the playoffs, championships, and such. They do have a break, so after next weekend, they won't have any tournaments until February.
So it sounds like they bowl every semester,
Yes.
and so so it's not like seasonal where they may have like training for baseball and training for basketball, but then they play the semester and then they get a break. But with bowling, they play all through each semester.
Yeah, even in the summer, they have workouts that they need to do to keep up, their physical stamina.
Right.
As well as not lose their swing.
Because Coach did teach me that about them actually having the physical training, just like regular athletes do.
Absolutely.
Right. To keep the strength up.
Yeah.
So I didn't know they would go in the weight room like other guys and ladies that play sports.
Yeah, it's important.
Okay. Now, travel time. How often did y'all have to travel before she came to college when she was playing in junior leagues? Did y'all have actually travel on the weekends or?
Well, actually, when she was in high school, I coached her all the way until she got to college.
Okay.
So she did a lot of regional tournaments. We live in Connecticut.
Okay.
Sometimes the tournaments were in Rhode Island or Massachusetts. So it could be a 2 or 3 hour drive to get to some of these tournaments. Junior Gold was in Indianapolis, so that was a 14-hour drive she and I took.
Gotcha.
And we spent some time out there and drove back. So there is some drive time, even as a parent, to get to some of these regional tournaments to go to.
For sure. Well, the other thing I can think of, how many team members does your daughter have, and what's your daughter's name?
Victoria.
Okay.
So there's 5 girls on the team, including Victoria.
Right.
So there's Shakaya, who's a sophomore, along with Victoria.
Uh-huh.
You have Shanae, Blessing, and Abigail.
Right.
And the 3 of them are freshmen.
Oh.
And it's just the 5.
So it's a very young team.
It's a
Okay.
young team.
Yes.
And it's a small team.
Well, it sounds like they're going to carry us a good distance while we're here. Now, do you know any of the other teams that are actually here playing in the invitation?
We are familiar with Howard.
Okay.
Virginia State, Virginia Union is here.
Right.
Delaware
Delaware.
State is here.
Okay.
Youngstown. There's a lot of teams we see throughout the season.
Gotcha.
At the different tournaments.
Yeah.
So we recognize a lot of these players.
Okay. And another basic introduction of when the game competition begins, when they compete with each other, do they get breaks in between? Because when I played, we had 3 games and it was over when I was in the league. So I'm not sure with you having 5 players, do they actually have to play each one have to play 5 games, or are the 5 players play just 1 game by themselves? How does the competition and number 12 frame games do they have to do?
So all 5 of them have to bowl every frame, every game. Otherwise, they will be disqualified for not having enough players. You have to
Because the
have
minimum
5
team is
bowling.
5.
Okay.
Right. So there's an advantage and a disadvantage to that, because if someone has an injury or they're tired, whatever, they don't have an opportunity to rest.
Right.
But at the same time, they are bowling a lot, so they can perfect and get better at their
skills.
Their skills.
Right.
Other teams that have a larger
Team members.
right? So they can rotate bowlers
players,
in and
yeah.
give people rest. So
But if you're one of the low end on the tournament pool, you may not get to bowl as often.
right,
True.
So,
right,
So there's benefits and there's losses for that.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So do they actually have to roll, each player have to roll 3 games, which is like 36 frames?
Well, yesterday's competition was 5 traditional games. So
Okay.
that's 5 games they bowled yesterday.
Gotcha.
Today they're bowling what's called Baker style,
Ah,
which means you have 5 players. Each player will bowl 2 frames.
okay.
The first bowler will bowl frame 1 and 6. Second will bowl 2 and 7, 3 and 8, 4 and 9, 5 and 10.
Gotcha.
And it's 1 game, 1 line of score.
Okay.
And that's a team score.
Ooh.
And they do the total pins at the end of those 5 games. Let's say they do Baker style.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so after they use the Baker style, are they doing 3 full 12 frame games of Baker?
It's 12 games. So each game is a traditional game.
Yeah, 12. 12 frames.
10 frames with the 3 and the 10.
Okay.
So if you got 12 strikes, great.
Right.
So it's a traditional game frame.
Uh-huh.
And then they'll add up their scores from each game against the team they're bowling against.
So are they do they need 2 games of 10 frames, or would I just for the competition to end?
Well, today's competition is best of 7.
Okay.
So you have to win 4 games to win that match.
Gotcha.
So it's best 4 of 7
And then you move up the totem pole to
the next level.
to win the
Right.
invitation.
Right.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you would like to share with me?
No, I just appreciate you. I'm taking the time and getting to learn a little bit about the Coppin State women's bowling program.
Right.
Absolutely.
They're a young team, but they're doing very well. And we have excitement for them for the whole season.
Well, I sure give
Awesome.
thanks for you being with me today. We're in the flow with Ricardo. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo.
All right.
Take care.